as we were coming out of COVID-19, we know that COVID-19 affected humanity worldwide. The cessation of transport, air transport. It affected the agricultural cooperatives, particularly in the horticultural sector. And what we know from our work is that women were disproportionately affected, particularly in the horticultural sector, where many of them lost work and therefore lost income. And with that, we had challenges in terms of access to health. So when the call for women's rights came out, and we thought this is an opportunity for us to bring women into the space that they had already lost as a result of COVID-19. And therefore, WINRACK was born out of that realization. Our project, which is based in 3 counties, the county of Kambu in central Kenya, Kajiado, and Taita-Taveta, which provide us with a gradient of different socio-economic status of, if you look at all those counties. And therefore, we felt like this would be a good opportunity for us to see how these different socio-economic status with our interventions, how those may affect women positively in terms of access to healthcare, and in terms of access to paid work, in terms of access to other social amenities. We are looking at using cooperatives because cooperatives in the past have shown that they increase resilience. And we are in the project are working towards having more women in cooperatives, have women with a greater say, because we also see within the cooperatives, women are fewer compared to members, but also when you look at positions of leadership, there are even fewer women in positions of leadership. And therefore, in terms of decision making, decisions are made with few women involved, and some of those decisions may require to have a gender perspective so that even as we talk about access to health, we know that we are able to include women's voices in terms of then access, in terms of provision of healthcare services, but also in terms of income, because for you to access health, you require a certain level of access to resources that are required for you to be able to afford health, to be able to pay for the services, and through cooperatives, having women actively involved, we will be able then to address some of those challenges that we see within the cooperatives.
The WINRACK project was intentionally designed in that manner, based on our understanding that the barriers that women face in participating and involving them in leadership and governance within the agricultural cooperatives operate at different levels and also at different spheres. And as a project, we considered that there are 2 key levels that we could practically or feasibly intervene on, and this is at the household level and at the cooperative level. We also hypothesized that intervening in one of these levels at the exclusion of the other was unlikely to produce any meaningful impact. And therefore, we began by conducting a baseline survey. This was geared towards identifying the specific barriers at these levels for each of these cooperatives in the different regions and in the different value chains. Based on the insights that we gained from the baseline survey, we were able to tailor capacity building initiatives and interventions specifically targeted at the specific barriers each of these regions and the cooperatives faced. At the household level, for instance, some of the cross-cutting issues that we tackled related to issues of gender roles and decision making. We used the transformative capacity building approach of the family model. At the cooperative level, we used the cooperative model to intervene at the institutional barriers that we had identified. And some of those institutional barriers emanated from the organizational culture, norms and practices, the policies and the procedures.
As a result of these interventions, we are seeing an increase in the number of women who are engaging in cooperative activities, who are actively engaged in getting into spaces where we have ordinarily had men. And I think from our point of view, we are seeing improvement.
Mimi nilijoin hiyo cooperative, tumekuwa tukienda training na workshop, imetusaidia sana, unajikubali, ukiingia kwa hiyo cooperative, kukipewanwa rules, unaweza kuwajibika, kama ni kuchaguana, mapema walikuwa nachagua tu wazee, ndio walikuwa naongoza. Sasa uko na hiyo confidence, unapata hiyo confidence, unaweza chaguliwa pia wewe. Na pia inasaidia ukiingia unakuwa tu uko na pesa yako unajitegemea. In case kuna kitu imetokea, you are able to handle it.
Imekuwa usaidizi kwangu. Juu ya masomo imenisaidia sana pamoja na mama yangu. Juu sasa kama ni mambo ya kulisha ng'ombe, tukikaa pamoja, kama ni mambo ya pesa, tukiambiana tutafanya hivi, tunaagiriana, tunasema hapo inastahili. Na vile wamama wengine tulikuwa na wao huko tukisoma, hata wao tulikuwa tunasema kama cooperative hii imetusaidia sana. Juu masomo ile tumesoma imetusaidia na tumeenda mbele.
When we come to Kambu, you get a different view of life, where you're finding that women there are actually more empowered. But now for Kambu, the main barrier to women participating and the main cause of gender issues is you'll find the aged population are the ones who are members of the cooperative societies. One of their major issues is they have a very aged kind of level of cooperative engagement, and during that time most of the women, the level of literacy was a bit lower, especially in that side or that part of the country. So you find that the woman, because right now there's a lot of empowerment and growth, because of their lower literacy levels, they are even shying away from leadership. They are shying away from participating. They're shying away from voicing their opinions because they're saying these other people are more educated. They can make better leaders. They can give better views as opposed to I. Then the other, something very big that came out in Kambu was the age. You are finding some cooperatives that have literally very, very few youth. What does that mean in terms of sustainability or in terms of succession? If you're having the average age as 55 for the entire cooperative, that means that you don't have youth in that cooperative.
Sustainability, of course, is an issue we are concerned about. And part of the reason why we have within the team a decision maker as one of the PIs, as one of the principal investigators, is to ensure that even the small steps we are able to make at the cooperative level, that those may be taken up at a higher level, so that, from, for example, the State Department of Cooperatives, that may then influence how cooperatives operate, not just in the 3 counties, but also expanding into the other counties within the country.
As a cooperative university, we are privileged to be able to explore other avenues that could ensure a lasting impact and sustainability of our initiative. One such is the Presidential Economic Transformation Secretariat, and in particular, the officers that are in charge of health and in cooperatives. So we made sure that during our health ideation workshops, these officers were included in the workshops and in the conversations that emanated from there. So one of the most important and interesting thing is that the voices from the women in the cooperative, from the cooperatives, were able then to reach the highest office in the land in terms of policy and decision making.
One of the big takeaways from this project, unlike other projects that I've been involved in before, is that WINRACK from the very beginning brought on board people from the decision-making level. So we have a decision maker at that high level. In the past projects, the way I've been involved, we carry out projects and then we take the results to the decision makers. And one of the questions they ask us, how did you arrive at this? So through WINRACK, we have been able to engage a decision maker from even the inception, conceptualization of the project itself, and in terms of gathering data from the field and going through that data in order to come up with strategies to address the inequalities we see, particularly in the involvement of women in the cooperatives within the cooperative sector.
We can use this knowledge that we've gotten from the family to transform our families so that we have what we call a model family that the other community can emulate. If I am treating my wife better, if I'm giving her a voice, if I am supporting her to become a member and get leadership, it means that other families will see this. And it's not just one family, it's a number of families within the community. So the community will get a behavior change because of that. Similarly to the cooperative.
Ile tulisoma kwa elimu, kwanza sana niseme, wakati tulitoka huku, nilikuja hapa nikafikiria kwanza peke yangu, nikajiita kama mkutano. Nikaona ni vizuri hata mama yeye akuwe na chair karibu na mimi. Kwanza huko kwa bank, kwa ziwa ya daily, pesa ikiingia kwa bank, hata yeye kutoa ataweza toa. Juu mimi saa zingine ninatembea na nje na magari. Kwa hivyo hata yeye nikampea ruhusa wa kuingia wapi? Wa kuingia hapo. Sasa hata hiyo mazao nikaona iko sawa. Juu hata vile tulisoma pale, vile mlituambia nikikaa nikiwa peke yangu, hata ng'ombe maziwa haiwezi ongeza, lakini tukiwa tumeshikana wawili inaongeza. Inaongeza kwa nini? Kwa bidii yetu na kushikana pamoja.
Hii mradi hapo awali mimi nilikuwa tunafanya kazi ya kuchunga ng'ombe. Sasa sio saa hii nimeanza ati juu ya masomo huko, nilikuwa tunafanya huko, lakini vile tulienda huko tukasoma. Sasa ile bidii nimeweka saa hii ni bidii kali. Juu sasa kwa vile nimesema baba kama hayuko karibu, mimi naweza simamia mambo ya familia na mambo ya kuchunga ng'ombe na kuchukua maziwa na kupeleka huko cooperative. Kwa hiyo mambo yote kwa mimi hasa naweza simamia hiyo mambo, na ni sasa nitaweka bidii mara mbili kuliko sasa ile niko nayo. Juu ya ile masomo tumesoma huko, sasa lazima nitie bidii ili niendeleshe kuchunga ng'ombe vizuri.
Sasa nikaona hiyo mradi iko mzuri sana. Kwa hivyo hata tukiendelea hivyo tutaenda mbele sana, na hata tumefundisha watu wengi hapa hii kijiji. Isipokuwa ni mwenye kukosa kusikia, sisi tumewaonyesha na wakaona na macho na wamesikia na masikio, na mwenye amesikia amesikia.
Kwa hii mradi imetusaidia sana. Nataka kuambia wamama wenzangu, imetusaidia sana kwa health na uchumi. Sasa vile ningesema ni watu wakuwe kitu kimoja na washikane. Juu wakiwa kitu kimoja na waongee lugha moja wanaweza enda mbali. Juu kama hivyo Bwana amesema, isipokuwa tuko kichwa kimoja na tunaongea lugha moja, hakuna pali tunaweza enda. Lakini kwa hii mradi imetupeleka, hiyo mafunzo imetupeleka mbali na tutaendelea na hiyo mafunzo.